I had some questions about the Sonos Arc, so I wrote a letter to the president of the company.
It's not a game, it's a rich thing.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Joe Simpson. Welcome back to Tech Wake. I wanted to do a follow-up on my Sonos Arc soundbar that I just received. I got one. They're back ordered till October, but I have a special connection, so I was able to get one. And I was all excited to hook it up. I did a little bit of homework before receiving the soundbar, and I thought I had the issue tackled with regards to the eARC connection and the Dolby Atmos issue. I don't know that it's an issue so much that it's an issue for me. So to give you some background to the Sonos Arc soundbar, the soundbar has the ability to play an Atmos signal, which is going to give you the front, left, center, and right channels. It's going to give you the rear channel, and it's going to give you also a channel of speakers that are going to be above you typically, and they have reflective speakers coming off of the bar for that. And then they have the subwoofer. The bar is only going to play that type of output, the Atmos output, if it has the input. So it has to come with the input via an HDMI cable, which creates the problem. Only TVs that have eARC or ARC output will be able to play the Atmos signal through the TV, and the eARC is going to play the nicest signal of all. So it creates a little bit of a problem or an issue for people that have projectors. See, when you have a soundbar underneath a television, first of all, if the television has eARC, it's a pretty simple process. You just plug in your HDMI to the TV, plug the HDMI down into the soundbar, and then you'll have the eARC signal as long as your TV is compatible with the ARC. So there's a lot of issues with compatibility, and I don't necessarily think it's Sonos's fault, but it's kind of an Atmos difficulty issue. So I think they're working through it, and I think they're coming up with some ideas. I had some questions about the Sonos Arc, so I wrote a letter to the president of the company. Now, the president of the company didn't respond back to me, but Richard Jackson did. And Richard Jackson said, "Hi, I'm Richard. I'm a senior software product manager for home theater here at Sonos." So that was kind of nice. They got back to me the same day within an hour and kind of took care of my information and my questions. The main question I had for this gentleman was, I bought a device that kind of looked like this. It's just a HDMI multiple input with an output. And this one is rated with an ARC output, and it also has optical output. Now, the actual unit that I bought, not this one, was a dual output. It had one ARC output for the audio and one output for the video. They actually both did video, but I was using one for the audio channel, and I thought that would actually get me Atmos through a switch down to the Sonos Arc. And it didn't work. Not only did it not work, I didn't get any sound at all out of it. So what I ended up doing by default was using the adapter, which was the optical connector, and then transported the typical 5.1 Dolby Digital surround to the bar at that point and gave up. The sound is really good. When you compare the sound coming out of the Sonos Arc compared to the original soundbar with regards to just overall volume and clarity and quality, I think the Sonos Arc blows it away. But I'm not really sure that I would have upgraded from the original soundbar to the Sonos Arc had I not had hopes of getting the Dolby Atmos sound out of this bar. I reached out to Sonos, and Richard got back in touch with me, and he said I wanted to forward a couple of things to you and let you know that there hopefully is some hope for you on the horizon. There's two companies that are coming out with hopefully products that will help us with the eARC solution and the Atmos, especially when teamed with like a projector. The first company is Feintech, F-E-I-N-T-E-C-H, and they're coming out with a switch which is going to be rated for eARC, and it's going to have the Dolby Atmos pass-through and everything hooked up, so hopefully that will work. The only question I'm not sure about that one is I have to have two signals go to two places. See, I have to have TV or HDMI signal, either 1080 or 4K, go into my projector, and I have to have the other signal carry the ARC out. So that's very important. Having one ARC or one eARC output from the switch isn't going to do me much good because I have to split that into two, which brought me to the next company, which might be the answer. HD Fury, who they're addressing the problem with a different type of device. They're going to have a single input device that splits the signal into two, and they're going to really tackle the eARC problem head on. So I think what you can do is you can stack switches. So you can take a switch that has like pass-through. That HDMI out will then go into the HD Fury device, and that HD Fury device will split that into two, taking the eARC to the soundbar and the regular HDMI up to your projector. I think that's how we're going to be able to tackle this. Anyway, I wanted to just update you guys and let you know that my little thing didn't work. I don't think I'm going to keep trying with any of the Chinese manufactured switches. I'm going to wait for a couple of these to come out. And I'm actually going to wait until some people have tried them and proven that they work, because they're not super cheap. The HD Fury device is $185. So when you start adding that stuff to the price of the already expensive soundbar, I don't know if it's worth it yet, so I want to wait and hang in there. But I can tell you one thing. Some of the sound quality takeaways I can tell you about this soundbar is that the volume level is probably 30% louder than the other soundbar. It gets really loud if you want it to. It takes a lot of the lifting off of the subwoofer. It feels like the bass is kind of shifted towards the front of the room, even though I know the subwoofer is still working and it's putting out the low end. I think what it did was it changed the crossover frequency and put a little bit more bass to that soundbar, and it sounds a whole lot richer in the front. The vocals are way more forward. That's something that I'm not sure is a good thing or a bad thing. If you use your soundbar mostly for music, the new one, I don't know. It sounds good when you play music through it, but I don't know if it sounds as musical, and I don't really know what I'm trying to say here, but it just doesn't sound as like light and airy as the original soundbar did. The original soundbar just had a really good sound to it as far as music goes, and it sounded great with television. This new soundbar sounds awesome with television, which I think is more the point for a soundbar. And it does do music super, super well, but it's a little bit more forward. Like when you hear like snare drums and things like that, they hit a little bit harder, a little bit more forward in the music. And there's no real like mid-range EQ. I wish Sonos would add like a mid-range EQ so you could just pull down just a little bit. And I did do the room curve and the adjustment, the true play, and that helps a lot. But all in all, I think it sounds tremendous. I think it's way better than the original soundbar, but it's definitely more video focused, which isn't a bad thing for a soundbar. And I think if they can iron out this eARC issue and get us some good sound quality for us projector people and people that don't have TVs with ARC, this might be just awesome once it starts piping through the Atmos surround sound and all that stuff. So anyway, hang in there. Definitely, if you're looking for a new soundbar, give this one a consideration because it's hot. But don't think you're going to get this thing if you have a TV that doesn't have eARC or ARC, or you have a projector and you're going to get it home and get Atmos sound right away. You might have a couple months ahead of you and a few things you might need to pick up to make this work just right. But I think in the long run, it'll be awesome. Now, one thing that Richard did say from Sonos, because I said, hey, you know, if we're not getting the Atmos surround sound, couldn't you pull 7.1 Dolby through an optical cable? And couldn't you utilize the other channels to do a 7.1 Dolby surround and at least give us something? And he said, well, I'm not allowed to tell you what we're working on, but I can tell you that we're always improving things. So that gave me hope, because it was kind of him saying, wink, wink, I can't really tell you what we're doing, but it's probably going to be cool anyway, so hang in there. So that was hopeful, and it was nice that they got back in touch with me. I'm a big Sonos fan, so if you guys have any input or successes with this type of hookup with a projector, trying to get the eARC to the front channel, let me know what you're doing. I'd love to hear about it, and I'd love to share it with other people on YouTube. Thanks for coming to Tech Week. I'll talk to you guys soon.